Hello students, I am your tutor Devashish and today's topic is food security in India. So what is food security? Food security is basically described as the availability, the accessibility and the affordability of food to each and every person and at all times. Now what is availability? Availability is the presence of enough food to feed all mouths and at all times, even in worse conditions like natural calamities like earthquake, drought, famine, etc. Now how this availability is ensured? The availability is basically described as the home production, that is production of food grains in the country, the imports from outside and also the government stocks. Now what is accessibility? Accessibility is food is accessible to each and every people very easily. Now affordability means people should have enough money to buy safe and nutritious food for themselves. Now the question arises, why do we need to be food secure? Okay, so why do we need to be food secure? So consider this to be the poverty line. So there are people above the poverty line and there are people below the poverty line. Okay, so the people who are below the poverty line, they are already deficient of money. Okay, they are already struggling through poverty, so they are already food insecure, they are already at the risk of food insecurity. But consider the case of national disaster. For example, it can be a drought, it can be a flood, it can be an earthquake like tsunami, it can be famine like the Great Bengal famine. So both people in those cases, both the people above the poverty line and the people below the poverty line, they struggle and they are at the high risk of food insecurity. That's why food security has to be ensured for all people in the country. Consider the case of the Great Famine that took place in Bengal in the year 1943. So this is a classic case of a national disaster that took lives of nearly 30 lakh people in the country. So seeing these conditions, we have to ensure food security for the people in our country. Now, how to ensure food security? What are the ways? So we have to attain self-sufficiency. That is, we have to become self-sufficient in food grain production in the country. One such example was the Green Revolution. Okay, so the Green Revolution took place in the year 1960s. Okay, it took place in the year 1960s, and and it saw a huge rise in the production of food grains, that is rice, wheat, etc. It saw a huge rise in the production of these food grains because of innovative techniques of good ways of farming, irrigation, etc. for all types of weather conditions. That is why Green Revolution is a huge progressive way towards food security in India. So now the question arises, who are the people who need food security? How do we classify the people? Who are the people? Okay, so these are the people that need food security. That is the landless people first. Okay, people who do not have land for farming or irrigation, they need to be food secured. Okay, traditional artisans. People, these are the people who depend on only one type of work because they know only one type of work. And if they do not get enough money from that work, then they will suffer from food insecurity. Okay, they will not have enough money to buy the food. Now beggars, migrants, these are the people who need food security. Okay, states like Bihar, West Bengal, Jharkhand and Chhattisgarh, okay, these are the states that have a huge high rate of poverty. So these states, so people of these states have to be food secure first. Okay, hunger. Okay, so hunger is an indication that it indicates food insecurity. It indicates food insecurity, or it shows the need of, it awakens the need of food security. So hunger, how hunger arises? Because people who do not have money, okay, deprived of money, who are poor, who suffer from poverty, below poverty line, okay, deprived of money. This leads to hunger, and in turn, hunger indicates food insecurity and hence the need of food security. So now, what are the ways how to ensure food security? So, what are the steps taken by the government of India to ensure food security for its people? So, government of India has implemented the food security system. Okay. So, what it comprises of? The food security system has two parts in turn. It has, the number one is, first is the buffer stock, and second is the public distribution system. So buffer stock and public distribution system. What is the buffer stock? It is a stock of food grains. It is a stock of food grains which can be used at a later time when the situations are worse. Okay. So basically it is a estimated stock of food grains which can be used at a later time, for example at the time of natural calamities like earthquake, flood, tsunami, for the people of the country. Okay. So under buffer stock, what the government has done, it has appointed the FCI, that is the Food Corporation of India. Okay, it has appointed FCI, that is the Food Corporation of India, and what FCI does is it takes the food grains from the states that produce food grains in a higher rate, at a higher rate. So it takes food grains from those states and it gives it to the states that are deficient of food grains, that are not able to produce such high rate of food grains. Okay, this is the role of Food Corporation of India, FCI. So what it does, it the farmers of the states from which it buys the food grains, it provides them a minimum support price. Okay, MSP, that is a minimum support price. They provide them a minimum support price, which is a price estimated at an early stage at the start of the year, and they provide the farmers the minimum support price, and then they take the food grains and provide to the deficient states. This is the role of the FCI under the buffer stock. Now let us come to the public distribution system. So under this, again we can see the role of FCI. What FCI does here is it has installed ration shops, okay, ration stations or ration shops from which people can buy ration, that is wheat, rice, sugar and kerosene at a very cheaper rate than that of the market rates. Okay, so the other steps taken by the government of India for ensuring food security for the people of India are as follows. The first one is the Integrated Child Development Service, and the second is Food for Work scheme, and the third and a very, very important, these are the two schemes that were implemented in the year 2000. That is, the first one is the Antyodaya Anna Yojana, and the second one is the Annapurna scheme. So what happened in the Antyodaya Anna Yojana is that people who were very, very below the poverty line, that is even below the poverty line, we can call it below poverty line. So 1 crore of such people were selected and they came under the food security scheme, under the Antyodaya Anna. Next is the Annapurna scheme. So this scheme also came in the year 2000. So this scheme ensured the food security for the senior citizens. So what corrective measures can be taken by the government? The first one is the better management of the granaries. Granaries are where the stock of grains for future supplies is kept. So the better management of granaries so as to reduce the wastage. And the second thing is the minimum buffer norms. So a minimum buffer norm has to be decided. That's all, students, for today's class. Hope you liked it. See you soon. Thank you.